Alright, due to popular demand, I'm going to play Scarlet Hollow. I'm probably going to end up getting everybody killed, but you know, we're going to get through it together. And I live in the city of Horrorland. And my pronouns are man. 2 traits. Mystical. Mystical and... This is tempting, talking to animals, but... A keen eye. Would be a mystical detective. You jolt awake as the bus hits a particularly nasty bump. You feel like you'd only just managed to start drifting off, and now here you are, awake again, and still exhausted. For a moment, you're hazy on the details of where exactly here is, confusing this bus with the many others that came before it. But as your mind continues to reassert its existence in the waking world, the past few days come back into focus. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops and seedy depots that would have felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Perlan Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. And my mystical side of me says, but it was also more than just the social pressure of the invitation that pushed you to accept it. Something has been tugging you back to this place your entire life. There was no choice to be made, because you were always going to find your way here. So when your cousin called, you knew what had to be done. And now the end of your long journey is in sight. You're almost in Scarlet Hollow. So anyway, as I was saying... Oh no. He's still here. He's been sitting next to you for the past 5 hours, talking at you without pause. You're not sure he's even stopped when you started to doze off. At first you thought he was just being friendly, but that was several hours of one-sided conversation ago. I was up in Maryland looking for work, but mostly messing around because I was a dumb teen. Me and my buddies were doing our usual prank stuff, you know, pushing joggers into the harbor, that sort of thing. Yeah, classic stuff. Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck's wrong with you? Pushing joggers into the harbor? That's awful. What if they drowned? Yeah, I was such a shithead back then. I'm still a bit of a shithead, but hey, po buddy's nerfect. So this girl comes up to us swinging a purse, yelling about how she was going to call the cops or whatever. It was hilarious. She actually hit my friend, and he said it hurt a lot, so I guess she really was mad and not just playing. But she kept swinging, and soon enough she lost her balance and fell into the harbor all on her own. We didn't even have to push her. We had a good laugh and fished her out, and her phone got soaked so she couldn't call the cops on us. We wound up hanging out all day. She kind of became my girlfriend after that. We've been on and off again for about a year, so it's pretty serious. So about 5 months ago, she tried to break up with me. Like, for real. And geez, you ever get so mad you just want to, like, kill somebody? I kind of feel like killing somebody right now, I guess. Yeah. I kind of feel like killing someone right now. I don't like horrible people waking me up to them tell me about their horrible thoughts. What can I say? I'm an interesting guy. Anyways, you'll get it when somebody tries to break your heart someday. It changes a person. Makes them think things they never thought they could. I honestly could have killed that woman. Anyway, she's giving birth to our son right now, so I'm trying to get up to Virginia to be there for it. But I don't know if I'm, like, into that stuff, so I might just wind up on a bus to New York or something instead. I've always wanted to go there. I might as well use my special action. You were so worked up by the thought of losing her that you wanted to kill her. But now that she's giving birth to a child you created together, you're planning on running off? Even if you love her, think about whether that love is strong enough that you'd be able to handle raising a kid together. Think about how your actions are going to impact his life, and whether removing yourself would be better for him in the long run. You should remove himself from the planet. Also, he's looking at his phone, asshole. Oh yeah, good stuff to think about. Anyway, where'd you say you were headed? I'm coming home. My mother fled this place many years ago, but she's gone now, and I can feel it calling me back. Some things can only be put off for so long. The young man anxiously shifts in his seat. For one perceptible moment, it's his turn to feel uncomfortable before he catches himself and heartily laughs. Oh, you must be talking about Scarlet Hollow, right? Or the Holler, as they call it in the mountains. That's the only other stop until this bus turns around, so if you aren't getting off at my stop, you must be headed up that way. Almost nobody ever goes there. I'm usually alone on the bus by now, though actually, I had a couple of buddies who went up there to work in the mine. There's a coal mine up in the holler, you see. And there's always a job listing or two on the boards around here. I've never wanted to do that kind of thing myself. I like my lungs the way they are, thanks. But my buddies got desperate enough to try it. I haven't heard from them in a while now that I think about it. I should see if they're on Facebook, see how they're doing up there. Hope they didn't die! He looks back at his phone for one, focused on something other than you. Oh, this is me. It was lovely meeting you. Hope you don't get too bored without me around to talk to. Here, I have something for you. I don't want it. I don't want it. The stranger rifles through his back door, presenting you with a dripping bag of peanuts. They're boiled peanuts. I got them at a gas station a few buses back and noticed you haven't eaten much, so I figured you could use them more than me. Plus, they dripped all over my bag, so I don't want to carry them anymore. Tip: sometimes picking a dot. What? Okay. Establish these new facts about who you are. Screw you and screw your peanuts. Hey man, I'm just trying to be friendly. Look, there's still a good 45 minutes left in your journey, pal. Assuming nothing goes wrong, best to have them on hand. The young man sets the peanuts down on the empty seat next to him. The juices dribble out through the bottom of the bag and up into the upholstery, instantly soaking it in peanut brine. And with that, I leave you. Safe travels, friend. My sopping bag of peanuts. And just like that, you're alone. The stranger's peanuts soaking into the seat across from you. Maybe you can finally get some sleep. Next stop, Scarlet Hollow. End of the line. Almost there. The bus finally comes to a stop. Its brakes squealing as it deposits you in front of the Scarlet Hollow bus station. The sign at least reads bus station, but calling it that feels disingenuous. At best, it's a kiosk, though for a small town like this, you're amazed there's so much as a road, let alone a bus that drives on it every week. Stays there for 1 minute. The driver quickly shuts the door behind you and starts the engine, kicking up dust clouds as he pulls away, eager to leave you in this place behind. Hey, Jay. You instantly recognize the worn young woman from the few public photos on her Facebook page. She's your cousin, Tabitha, and she looks annoyed to be here. Yeah, I'm remain silent. Let's get back to the estate. I don't want to spend any more time down here than I have to. Your cousin turns and motions to an old BMW parked near the kiosk. You follow her, clambering into the dusty relic. Yeah, but it's a BMW relic. That pose. Doesn't take much driving before the only signs of civilization are the car you're in and the road you're on. Tabitha maintains an icy silence as she focuses on the road. Dialogue options labeled Explore can usually be taken without advancing the story. They can impact relationships and unlock additional story paths, so choose carefully. It's something just to be like an asshole to everybody. But I guess I should explore at least something. Both members of the Dead Moms Club, I guess. Guess we're both members of the Dead Moms Club now, huh? Your cousin turns to stare at you, an icy hatred in her eyes. Maybe this would have worked on the ease of attention if she were someone else, but she isn't. Oh good, I'm glad I picked the ass option. She turns back to the road, her expression cold and unforgiving. That's all. That's all I have to say to you. You decide to sit in silence with your cousin as the car eases up the steep mountain road. And here it is, the Scarlet Estate. Though it's seen better days, its crumbling elegance is not lost on you. Someone used to cramp apartments in gray cities. Your mother told you about this place many times before she passed, always with an anger burning beneath her words. The faded majesty you once imagined doesn't quite compare with what's in front of you, a jarring blend of opulence and ruin. As you stare at it perched on the crumbling cliffside, you can't help but feel like it's something that should have been left to rot a long, long time ago. You're hit with a blast of dusty air as you step across the threshold and into the foyer. Everything in this room has been here for much longer than you've been alive. Each object cemented in place with layers of dust and cobwebs. You can hear doors creak on the hinges and the aches of the moans of ancient floorboards as the house itself sways in the wind. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. If you know what's good for you, you'll stick to your room, your bathroom, and the kitchen, and hallways, I guess. But only the hallways you need to use to get to those places. I'll show you around so you know where it's safe to walk. You can leave your bags here for the time being. Thought y'all were loaded. Can't you afford to fix this dump? Tabitha's dagger-filled eyes are as much of an answer as you're going to get. Let's get this tour over with. Follow me. Put your bag down and follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. She delicately steps over the holes and tears in the floor, and you do your best to trace her steps. Kitchen. On Wednesday, a woman from the town comes in and does the cleaning. Her name is Janie. I wouldn't recommend socializing with her. She'll talk your ear off. If you need any food, there's fixings for peanut butter and jelly. As Cat. As Tabitha speaks, your eyes are drawn to the window and the overgrown garden outside. Dread and anxiety grip your lungs, and you can almost feel the ground beneath you start to slip. This place is a step away from being swallowed up and vanishing forever. Don't touch my mac and cheese or my ice cream. Those are off limits. Oh, and you can also access the garden through here, but it's pretty wild, so I wouldn't if I were you. There's a shitload of options here. Yeah, look at this one. This place isn't safe, and I don't mean that in the sense of it being perched on a literal cliff. Something is wrong here. Okay, geez, I get it. You think it's messy. I'll tell Janie to be more thorough this week, but you should know there's only so much anyone can do with a country house this old. It's always going to be a little grimy and worn, unlike your sleek city apartments. If a little dirt bothers you, you're going to have a rough time this week. What if I want ice cream? Then you can buy yourself some at the general store. If you touch my stash, I will know, and there will be consequences. I'm broke. Oh, I don't know if I should be spending money on ice cream right now. Then you can't have ice cream. That's how it works. I don't love PB&J. Alright, what's next on the tour? Bathroom. Follow me. Great, it's been hours since I've gone. As the two of you leave the kitchen, you pass by a tuxedo cast sitting on the countertop. Before following your cousin down the hall, you decide to pet the cat. She bites your hard and hisses violently. Tabitha sighs. As you've now learned, you should not pet Frou-Frou. If she wants to be pet, she'll let you know. Come on, the bathroom awaits. You once again follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. Maybe after a few nights, it'll get easier to navigate these spaces. But for the time being, you feel lucky to have not fallen through the floors. Guest bathroom. Not much to show. It's a bathroom. I'll wait outside. Do what you must, if you must. It is a wretched bathroom. Piles of junk sit untouched in the corners of the room, and mystery stains paint the floor. That's not a mystery to me. What a nice bathroom. The words barely leave your mouth through gritted teeth. Glad you like it. Are you sure this toilet works? Yeah. Why wouldn't it? The water bill gets paid, therefore the toilet works. Now do your business so we can move on. But it's so crusty. It's fine. Don't be so dramatic. Oh, I'm lifting the toilet seat. Yum. Bugs skitter from the bowl as you lift the seat. I'm using it. I'm taking a dump. A toilet is a toilet. Sure, it could be cleaner, but your business needs doing, and this is as good a place as any. You do what you must and rejoin your cousin out in the hall. Next up, guest bedroom. Last stop on the tour. Follow me. You and Tabitha briefly return to the foyer before climbing the stairs and reaching the guest room. The room smells old. Dust, mildew, wood rot. It has it all. A week of sleeping in this place might give you permanent lung damage. This is where you'll be staying. The linens are fresh. I had Janie wash them last week. I had to endure a half-hour rant about her kid just to get her to do it, so you better be grateful. You should be grateful. An unmistakable stain coats this room. Someone has died here. No, people have died in here. The closet is full of old family stuff, so you can't hang your clothes up, but you can use the dresser. It should be empty. I sense a heavy spiritual fog hanging over this room. People have died here, haven't they? What? This house is almost 150 years old. Obviously, people have died here. What's with all the boxes? Old family stuff. What kind of family stuff? Unimportant family stuff. What kind of unimportant family stuff? Who used to sleep here? Like I said, this house is almost 150 years old. Many, many people have slept here. And now you'll sleep here, carrying on the fine tradition of bedrooms being slept in. What a dump. I hate it. A dump? This is a historic landmark you're staying in for free. City folk really are rude. Each and every piece of furniture in this room is a genuine antique, handed down through the family for generations. Sorry if it's not the flimsy IKEA McFurniture you're used to. You frankly don't deserve to be sleeping here if you ask me, but my mother wouldn't want me turning you out onto the street, so here we are. Lucky for you, I have a good enough sense of common decency to continue to host you rather than throw you out on the streets. You can't think of anything else you'd like to say, but if there's one thing for certain, it's that you're not the sort of person who likes to, or even knows how to, verbally end conversations. You remain silent and wait for Tabitha to say something. I take it you don't have any other questions? Good. Follow me. I'll take you back to the foyer so you can collect your belongings. This concludes our tour. I'm afraid I must return to my duties, so you'll have to entertain yourself for the rest of the day. Don't expect to see much of me. Some dialogue options will open additional conversation paths, some right away and others down the line. You decide to let Tabitha leave for work. Are we all set then? I'll see you tonight. Cousin leaves through the front door. And now it's just you. You and the sprawling, decrepit estate. Immediately go to the forbidden wing. Except for the locks and chains sealing them shut. Let's go look in the room, I guess. Now that your cousin is gone, the aches and pains of your journey sink into your bones. You stumble back up the stairs to your room, suitcase in tow, eager to unwind before you face the rest of the day. You stand at the entrance to your room. Let's check the closet. You can see why your cousin said you should put your clothes in the dresser instead of this closet. There must be decades of family history stacked up in here. Yeah, I gotta pick up the doll. Oh, it's beautiful. Of course you're sharing a room with a creepy doll. You pick it up to examine it more closely. Its foot reads, "Property of Alexandra." No need to carry this around with you. Why not? You close the closet behind you. Now let's look at the painting. This must be an older relative of yours, judging by the dates on the inscription. You've never heard of her, but you'd barely heard anything about your aunt and cousin until a week ago, so that's not really a surprise. Maybe you could ask Tabitha about this Mary Belle Scarlet the next time you see her. That is, if she's actually in the mood for conversation. Probably not. What's outside? You can only imagine how beautiful the garden must have been in the heyday. If you owned this place, you'd totally get out there with a shovel and some gardening gloves and whip it into shape. You'd go out and pull weeds, chop trees, carve topiaries, and do whatever you needed to do to return it to its former glory. And once it was all done, you'd sit by the fountain, which of course would have little goldfish in it, and drink a floral tea while enjoying the birdsong. Yeah, you'd definitely do that. Just not right now. Oh, let's put the clothes in the dresser. Oh, a possum. Nice sound. You drag your suitcase over to the dresser and open the bottom drawer. A possum lurks in the within. It's quiet but angry. I'll just put my clothes on top of it. Oh, I got an achievement. The poor thing looks cold in there, you think to yourself. You lay your clothes on top of the creature, arranging them in a little nest. It closes its mouth, somewhat more at ease than before, and looks up at you with its shiny black eyes. Good night. Close the drawer, satisfied with yourself for a job well done. And nap time. You immediately collapse on the bed. You're tired enough that being alone in a strange new place won't stop you from passing out. Or so you thought. You cough as a small cloud of dust rises up from the mattress. These sheets might be fresh, but everything beneath them might have been around to see the dawn of civilization. You try to settle in, but the bed is lumpy in strange places, and you can feel the springs pressing through the fabric. You might be tired, but you're far from tired enough to get in more than a few minutes of uncomfortable napping. Alright. Doesn't seem like there's much else for you to do here right now. I am not into PB&J. I'm a PB&J hater. Now that you're settled in, there's not much left for you to do. Explore the town. Yep. If you'd have known you'd wind up having to walk all the way back to town, you probably would have just asked Tabitha to leave you at the bus stop, especially with how unhappy she seemed to see you. If only you could wipe the slate between the two of you clean and bury some of the tension, though maybe her mother's funeral isn't the best time for something like that. Then again, maybe it's the perfect time. Continue down the path. It's really pretty out here. Yep. The birds are singing. Finally, you made it back to town. The holler, as that guy on the bus called it, has probably seen better days. Still has that feeling of an idyllic countryside, or country town, but its sidewalks are cracked and many of the storefronts are boarded up, their windows dusty with age. A chill breeze sweeps down the lane and you shudder, suddenly feeling as if you're peering into a grave. And then a dog. Gretchen, come back quick! Quit bothering strangers! Sorry about that. Gretchen can be very slippery when he wants to be, or when she wants to be. She loves to get loose and cause havoc. Nice Mothman. I'm just gonna immediately pet all animals. You reach out and scratch Gretchen behind the ears. Her fur is soft and warm. She wheezes excitedly, digging her little nose into your palm and licking your hand. Oh, I'm so glad you two are getting along. Isn't she just the cutest? With how energetic she gets, you'd never know she's 17. It's an old creature. She's 17? That's gotta be really old for a dog, right? Sure is. She's about 84 in dog years. I'm hoping she beats the current record holder and makes it to 19. Or better yet, 20. The more time we get together, the better. Isn't that right, Gretch? But where are my manners? Talking to you for this long without introducing myself? I'm Stella. It's not often I see a strange face up in the holler. Every now and then there's a new crop of coal folks, but you don't look dusty enough for that. You aren't in town for the funeral, are you? The Scarlet funeral? Hi, I'm Jay. You must be Tabby's cousin, right? That's the only person I can think of who would come to town for the funeral. How's she holding up? To be honest, I've been a little worried about her, all alone up in that big house. Mystical and keen-eye. I don't know how she's doing. The real Tabitha's buried underneath you. I don't know how she's doing. The real Tabitha's buried underneath whatever icy front she's putting on. Whoever she is, I don't think many people get to actually see that person. She's always been a little rough around the edges, to be honest. It's always been hard to tell if that's just the way she is, or if she's just been putting on an act her whole life. To think she's been up in that old mansion all by herself. I'm glad you're here. You being in town will probably do her some good. I don't know about that. Even if she doesn't think so herself. I could be the #1 Tabitha hater, but not yet. Are you two friends? I was probably closer than most people have gotten to being able to call her friend. The school here is really small, so everyone had to at least get along with everyone else. She was a grade ahead of me, but everyone knew her, especially since she's a Scarlet. We wound up bonding bonding a bit when we were both in the school's production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. I was Puck, and she was Mustard Seed. As you might have expected, she was more than a little prickly, but I managed to soften her up a bit in the end. But then she graduated, and that was that. Oh, if you just got to town, you must be starving. I was just on my way to eat dinner, or to the diner for a coffee. They've got amazing biscuits. My treat. Let's go. I didn't eat my PB&J, so... A pleasant aroma of greasy breakfast food hangs heavy in the air. In contrast with the empty, lifeless atmosphere of the family estate, the diner is filled with the comforting din of human life. All of which grinds to a sudden halt as the patrons realize that a stranger has entered the establishment. They look so pissed off. Oh, I thought this guy was a skeleton, but it's just this gear. I'll just, I like to be silent. I'll just silently stare. What's up? Hey, this is Tabitha's cousin. He just got into town for the funeral. I'm showing him around. Stella moves to the nearest booth and you quickly follow. There's no need to be nervous, They won't bite. As you settle into the booth, you can't help but pick up some of the murmurs of the conversation around you. Let's listen. Stella turns to Gretchen while you take a quick look around the diner. At the counter, 2 policemen and a woman you assume to be the owner, shoot sidelong glances in your direction while whispering to each other. That must be Vivian's kid. Never thought we'd actually meet him. Looks so much like her. Oh yeah, those eyes are unmistakable. That haunted look. I always thought it'd go away when she finally got out of this town, but I guess unhappiness was baked into her DNA. Mm-hmm. A young mother and her syrup-stained child sit at the table across from you. Mommy, who's that? Don't stare, Tulip. That must be Miss Tabitha's cousin. Oh, so that's why you look so sad. I would look sad too if I had to have Miss Tabitha as a cousin. Do you think Tabitha's cousin is mean too? I don't know. I'll find out next time I go visit Miss Tabitha. Are you going to finish your pancakes? They're almost cold, Sweet Pea, and we've got to get home to help Daddy. That must be like Janet or whatever. In the far back corner, a man sits alone at the small table, sipping coffee and reading a paper. Why are the strangers who wander into town never gorgeous blonde ladies of an appropriate age? Why is it always coal boys, punks, and whippersnappers? Man, I think you look a little young to be calling me a whippersnapper. Lastly, a group of coal miners sit hunched around the corner booth, readily scarfing down heaping plates of food. What do you think? Another young'un looking for mine work? No way. Clearly don't got the stomach for it. That's got to be the boss's cousin. There's that funeral this week, if I'm remembering right, for old Miss Perlan. May she rot in peace. Oh, let the lady rest, Lloyd. One shouldn't speak ill of the dead, no matter how foul they were, especially before they've been so much as lain to rest. If you'd been around her in her heyday, you'd be speaking all over too, Tommy. He's right. Nastiest woman I ever met. That Tabitha is a blessing compared to her. Curse the whole lot of them. May every Scarlet burn in hell. That's enough of that. Hey, Stella, I went ahead and fixed you up a cup of coffee. They gracefully placed a cup of specially brewed coffee in front of Stella. Aw, shucks. Thank Avery. Thanks. Thank Avery. And here's some bacon for the little lady. Gretchen sniffs the bacon and digs in. Can I? I'm hitting Y. Oh, I did it. Anything for you. Or anything for you? Yeah, I mean, I might be bad for it, but that thing is like 18. Look at that. Okay. Don't look at it, but just know. It's on his last limb anyway. Let me get a coffee. No problem. Avery pours the fragrant brew into the empty mug in front of you. They linger after pouring your coffee, turning to you nervously. Oh, and I'm sorry for your loss. Whatever. Before you have the chance to respond, they're gone. Should have gone for the biscuits. They're really good, but I guess you've got all week. Maybe you'll get one tomorrow. Anyway, the funeral's not till Sunday, right? That gives you quite a bit of time to slum around town. I'm trying to think if there are any cool events going on this week. There's always the reading adventure at the library, which is supposed to be for little kids, but I do it every month anyway. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Avery's throwing a party Saturday night, so that's a fun thing to look forward to. And there's the weekly Sunday potluck. That should be right after the funeral too, so it'll be a special occasion. Cool. Sounds neat. Maybe I'll check out some of these things. Anyway, those are all the big events I can think of. As for the day-to-day, any idea you want to kill time for the rest of the week? Do you have something in mind? Something's telling me this is a loaded question and you've got something in mind. Heh, was I being that obvious? My job means I spend a lot of time in the woods with the camera, and it's always better when someone else is there too. Or Stella can finish, Avery returns, biscuit in tow. Hey, Winnie wanted to give you a biscuit. On the house. She sends her condolences. I'll be nice. Thanks, Avery. It looks great. You pick up the biscuit. It's delicate, fluffy, and nearly crumbles at your touch. Buttery warmth emanates from its surface. You don't even need to taste it to know that it is good. Divinity given buttery form. You take a bite, and it melts into your mouth as if it was nothing but butter suspended in a thin matrix of dough. Truly, this is a perfect biscuit. Whoa, this is a really good biscuit. Wow. I'm so glad you like it. Avery lingers at the table for a moment. So, has Stella mentioned she's famous? Oh, Avery, I'm not famous. Look, if you're not going to go around tooting your own horn for you, you know I'm going to do it for you. Stella sighs. I'm a YouTuber. Wait, what? Can't believe you were hiding that from me. How does that make you money? Oh, okay. Let's just take the middle road here. Cool. What kind of videos do you do? She hunts cryptids, so I kind of guess from the Mothman shirt. You should really check out her channel, Jay. It's amazing. How did you know my name? Oh, sorry. It's just that most people in town know about you. Sorry, I'm sure that must seem creepy. Yeah, a little bit. Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. The Holler's a small place. Everybody knows everybody, and that includes extended family. Oh no, who's been talking about me? I never even met this side of the family. What would they even talk about? Your aunt must have been getting it from somewhere. She was always on about something you're up to. Oops, sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. What matters is now that people can meet the real you, so it doesn't matter what Perlan may or may not have said. Yeah, you can always make a good first impression and wipe the slate clean with the whole town. I'll just remain silent. Ah, geez, look. I'm sorry I said anything. Hey, I'm sure this is all mortifying, but don't worry about it. Really, Perlan was a gossip and would do this sort of thing with everyone. Spreading weird little rumors about folks was kind of her trademark. Anyways, weren't we in the middle of talking about Stella's illustrious YouTube career? I guess we were, weren't we? I think the best video to start with would be the river one. Not the lake, but you know, the controversial one. Oh yeah, the Catawba River Runner. I didn't expect much out of that footage that time, but it wound up being my most popular video by far. So the River Runner's a cryptid that's only known from a single sighting. 2 Boy Scouts thought they saw something big and weird in the Catawba River. And that's all I had to go on. But then I wound up catching this on camera. Stella pulls out her phone and shows you a clip of something in the river. Ah, there's the dislike button. Keen-eye dislike button. Despite the shaky camera footage, you can clearly make out the shape of the creature's head and its relative body proportions. You're pretty sure it's a cat, and a big one at that. Some folks said it was a beaver, but if that was the case, it'd be at least twice the size of any beaver I've seen. I also had people say it was a dog, or even a capybara that must have escaped from a local wildlife sanctuary. I'm still not sure what it was, and I'm the one who saw the thing with my own 2 eyes. It looks like a big cat. See, it's got those little kitty ears right there. Maybe it's a mountain lion. No, no way. It is absolutely not a mountain lion. There are no mountain lions this far east. I did a whole video on the Appalachian mountain lion myth and found Jack squat, and there's no reason one would be swimming in the river like this. They're not fans of water. And the body is too long. No way. Personally, I'm a fan of the capybara theory. Sure, It's not like any local sanctuaries are missing one, but there's always people keeping exotic animals as pets. Kind of a sewer gator type situation. Exactly. Some exotic pet owners set it free, and now will forever roam the Catawba. Fuck that word. Confusing Boy Scouts and the YouTube commenters for years to come. So speaking of things to do around here, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to come along. It's a pretty easy one this week. We won't even have to camp anywhere. I'm going to go after the... Wait, no spoilers. Oops, sorry Avery. It's okay. I should probably get back to it instead of standing around chatting with friends. See you all around. Now that the coast is clear. I'm going after Skunk Ape. Oh, that sounds like a great one. Isn't that just worse Bigfoot? Huh, it's definitely one of the lesser ape-type cryptids. And one of the smellier, according to some sources. They say you should be able to smell it before you see it. I don't know about you, but I find the idea of discovering something previously unknown to be excitement enough, even if it's just worse Bigfoot. Most skunk ape sightings are from Florida. While I was doing research for last week's video, I came across a report where a lady from a town over claimed to have seen one on her deck, playing tug-of-war with her dog. And as I leave no stone unturned, I decided it was worth investigating. So what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against a darkening sky, that sort of thing? Yeah, against my better judgment, yes, I will follow a girl I just met into the woods at night to chase after dangerous beasts. Sound fun? When you put it that way, it sure does sound like this is a bad idea, but trust me, we'll have a great time. It's been a while since I've had anyone besides Gretchen out there with me. This is going to be a lot of fun. I actually started the channel with a couple of buddies of mine back in the middle school, so it's kind of like a blast from the past. Me and Kanika and Reese running around in the woods, flipping over rocks and bothering salamanders. Our videos were terrible, but we had a lot of fun, and that's all that mattered to us. You know, that gets me thinking. I wonder if they'd be down to come along with us. Get the old gang back together. Though I guess Kanika has got to close out the general store tonight, so I'm pretty sure she's a no-go. But Reese, I think there's a decent chance we could get him to come out of his hidey hole, if he's up for it. Do you mind if I make a quick call? Stella pulls out her phone and dials it, waiting while it rings. Reese, dude, what's up? Feels like it's been forever. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to come by or... Okay, if you're really sure, but if you change your mind. Oh, I was just calling to ask if you wanted to come out to the woods tonight. I met somebody cool in town today. He's Tabitha's cousin. I know, yeah, just here for the week. Anyway, we're gonna go look out for the skunk ape. We could take the easier trails if it would help. Dang, man, that sounds awful. Hope you take it easy tonight. I'll swing by sometimes this week and we can have a more low-key hang. How's that? Oh yeah, I'll bring him. Talk to you soon. Bye, bud. Looks like it's just you and me, pal. Did he ask you to bring me to his house? Why? He's excited to meet you, of course. I think you'll find most folks in town are. Is he okay? He is not feeling well, that's all. He had a lot going on in the past, gosh, 10 years or so? But I feel like it's gotten a lot worse recently. Can't remember the last time I saw him leave his house. Oh well, it's not my place to talk about, really. Just got a little excited thinking about having him along. He's hilarious. You'd love him. We should swing by his place sometime this week. Yeah, sure. I want to see Mr. Death's Door. That'd be nice. I'd love to meet your friends. Awesome. I'll make it happen. He's definitely the trickier one to meet. Kanika is much easier to track down since she's at the general store basically every day. But friendship can wait. We've got a skunk ape to hunt. So we should probably head out if we want to make it up to the mountain before it's too dark. Come on, let's blow this popsicle stand. You pause before getting up. Maybe it's time to make a good first impression. After all, it seems everyone in town had heard awful things about you from your now deceased aunt. You know, I like that dude. I'll give him a nice tip. Crumpled $5 bill. You know it's a bit more than one would expect to get from such a short dining experience, but you might as well share the wealth while you've got it. Smooth out the bill before placing it on the tables inconspicuously. If I had those peanuts, I'd give them to him. Oh, that's awesome of you. Avery will appreciate that, I'm sure. Still turns to leave the diner with you following close behind. It hadn't been very cold when you first arrived in town, but the sun dips closer and closer to the horizon. The chill descends upon the hollow, and you see your situation with renewed clarity. You're in a new place, far from civilization, and the people you know following someone you just met into a dark forest in search of monsters. You feel an overwhelming sense of foreboding, which seems only natural considering where you are. Your instinct screams at you to leave, but at the same time, you're curious to see what the night has in store for you. You decide to go with the flow, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and not dwell too much on this strange feeling. And with that, we will cut it off for now. We'll start our journey into the forest later. See ya.